welcome back to our Eid Show. Now we have another set of wonderful guests with us. We have BAKHTAWAR NAVEED, who's social activist.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're also at, you've done anthropology from Quaid-e-Azam University.
Exactly.
Gee, we also have with us OMAR KHALID ANWAR, who's a financial expert. He's also into media, professional bank, and you're a banker for 18 years.
Yeah.
There's also professional photography. There's a lot of things, and they're so diverse, and I think we'll talk more about this.
Sure.
You're into banking and also professional photography. That's quite a difference. And you have a production house by the name of OMAR Photography.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Now also we have KHURSHEED with us. He is chef and CEO of 401. Umair, thanks a lot for being with us. And what is 401?
401 is basically a highway. It's based in Canada, and I was there. I was stuck in a traffic jam. It was winters. It was snowing, so there was a nearby petrol station. I walked there, find my way in between the snow. I walked there and I found a very old Canadian couple who were selling croissants and fresh donuts and bagels. So that was a nice treat in that cold weather. So I decided that when I go back to Pakistan, I'll open something of a similar concept and name it 401 as well, so that I can revive the memory of that traffic jam I had there. So it's 401.
Right. Now, Bakhtiyar, could you please tell us something about yourself?
Well, thank you. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. I am studying in Quaid-e-Azam University as an anthropologist. I have just done my bachelor's, and I chose anthropology as by choice.
Okay.
By choice, I mean I really am into being cultures and traditionals and societies. So I really like to help those people who really need to change the society. Because if we see the change in westernized culture in Pakistan, there's a huge difference.
Could you please also let our viewers know about the anthropology? What is it about?
Well, it's about social and cultural changes of past and now.
Okay.
If, like I said, it is actually about the Western culture. The studies are about all westernized culture. The authors, the researchers, everything is about Western, but we have to apply that in Pakistan as well. Our NGOs are working on it, on lower level, on basic level, for those people who really need to work on this.
Gotcha.
Right, Umar, you have, and you know, you're also into photography, and now you're currently also a banker, or?
No, I left banking back about 6-7 years back. I had an experience of 18 years. And while I was into banking, I had this passion of photography. So I started off photography back in 2009, and I think within 6-7 months I started getting projects, and that's how I jumped into photography. And then later on had to expand the business. I got into productions. Yeah, so that's how.
So you and this is particularly like event photography. What kind of photography?
When I started off, it was wildlife photography and you know, events. Different. I used to go to different events and just used to click over there. One certain day, somebody just saw my pictures and he was like, you know, why don't you
do this professionally?
Do professionally. So that's how I started off.
And you, how have you found photography compared to your? Of course, I mean, they're two such diverse fields.
You know,
it allows you a certain amount of freedom, of course.
Exactly. I believe if you have a passion of something, then there's no boundaries to that. My father used to do photography. He was a doctor, and he had the passion of photography as well. I think I got that from him. I inherited that from him side. And yeah.
Now also, Umar, I don't understand, like, a person is with all these occupations, you know, that's, how do you do that? I mean, like, you have, like, you're a photographer, you have a production house, you are in the tourism, and you are a social activist. I mean, this like whole bunch of stuff. How do you do that?
I like doing multitasking.
Okay.
You know, while I was into banking, I was into photography, productions, and then I started event management as well, and then I started tourism. These were all my passions. So I changed all my passions into profession.
Got
So alhamdulillah, it's going well now.
And they're all equally interesting.
Yeah, I'm
I want to include Umair also. Umair, you are, I've ordered the cakes from 401. I
Okay.
think a lot of times you do a lot of specialized cakes.
Mhm.
So I mean, a lot of the birthdays for children and a lot of that. It's become really popular, and it's a very, when you order any image that we send you, it's how have you found it, and is it like you have a team now? How diversified are you?
It was when I started back in 2011. It was myself, and I had one helper with me.
Okay.
Right now we're a team of 19.
Okay.
It's all boys. We work together as a team. I've diversified the business from non-customized cake to the customized cakes. We used to do non-customized first, and then we got into customized approximately 8 years ago. And yes, since you've ordered, you would know that every day, every time a customer orders, it's a different design, it's a different channel.
And that's become your forte now, the customized part now.
Yes,
Because people usually want to go to you now for that kind of, the more difficult it is, the more
difficult it
they
is,
feel.
the more challenging it is. We like it, we take challenges, and this is how it is. But it's been a good journey. I would say it's been a very good journey. When I started, there were very less people doing customized cakes in Islamabad. So with the passage of time, I think we have like more than 100 customized cakeries who are operating within Islamabad and Pindi. So it's nice to be a part of them. It's nice to be, I would say, a senior bakery in regard to others. And
Shehzad has no girls working as bakers.
That's quite, I was also, that point was also stuck in my mind too. Why is that?
I don't have a specific reason. I would say that there's a lot of responsibility. I'll be honest, there's a lot of responsibility that I and my team take when it comes to do customization. If you order, obviously you're spending money. We are charging you as per your design and theme. So once you order, you make sure that you've ordered to the right person, and you expect it to be a replica of the image that you've shared.
Right. Let me ask you something here, okay? Okay, when in Pakistan, that's a tradition. When a boy, especially, he's done with his college and education. Next thing you find out that he's looking for a job. He want either the scope is engineer, doctor, or how the heck you went to this? Like I mean, there's nothing that I've done. I've lived most of my life in the United States, and I've done a lot of stuff there which had to do with cooking, and I'm a good cook too. Still, I cook at home. But then, how you got into this culinary stuff?
This was something that it wasn't planned, but I always wanted to be my own boss.
Okay.
I never wanted to work for someone. I wanted to work for myself. And once I got done with my education, when I had 3-4 different ideas, and I made feasibilities of the sort of businesses I had an option to start. So when I shared it with my father, he was a little, concerned as well, that why would you want to get into something like this? But his prayers, my mother's prayers, my whole family, my friends who supported me overall the journey, I started off with this, and it was difficult in the start. It was, at times when I used to pick up the phone and like, कोई खातून है जिनसे बात हो सकती है, जो बनाती हैं हमारी उनसे बात करवा देता है. I was like, नहीं, इधर बनाता ही होता है, बनाते वाला concept नहीं है. So for the first few years, it was a little, I was a bit hesitant as well, and I kept on telling people that I'm the manager. There is a woman who's working at the back end, who's running the show. I'm the manager. I'm here for order taking and stuff. But later, when it all became big and it started getting common, so I came to the lead and I told everyone it was always me. It has been me, and it was.
Okay. So Bakhtawar, tell us how do you celebrate Eid al-Adha usually?
Well, mostly my day starts with the meat and stuff.
Meat and stuff.
How many siblings are you?
We're 3. I am the youngest sister, and I have 2 elder brothers. So we basically, just have to do all these chores, and then we have to get ready in the evening, or our relatives come over, or we have to go with those barbecue stuff and, just do the work
Right,
mostly.
it's
Get
quite busy,
ready.
yeah.
It's quite busy the first day.
Right.
That's how it is.
And Omar, what about you? Are you into buying goats and do negotiations with the Bioparis out in the cattle market, or how does it go? Are you into? I'm into it. I was just telling that
Well,
earlier too.
Not anymore. We used to do that at least I think 5-6 years back. We used to do that, but actually I live with my mother, and she is not capable of managing the whole thing now.
Okay.
So what we do now, we either give it to charity, or we have a long time relation with our Kisai. So we just ask him to do something for us. So he just do that.
So back then, when we used to actually go out and do all that stuff, the typical stuff that guys, I love it. On the.
I used to,
So how it used to turn out, like how you started your day while you go to the cattle market, and then what? Then you just.
Well, as a sunnah, it's like you have to buy the animal at least a week back, so that you have some connection with that.
Right, right.
So my father used to do the same thing. We used to buy the goat or sheep at least 5 to 6 days back, and then you take care of them. And on the Eid day, that was the worst time in the morning when the butcher is coming and he has to do the qurbani thing. So I used to just run away, go into the inside the house so that I don't watch the whole thing happening.
Okay. So folks, the show is, like I said earlier, is still going on. We'll be right back after the short break. Stay with us. Welcome back to our Eid show, and now we're going to start our second segment with Bakhtawar again. So Bakhtawar, please tell us, besides your tough studies that you have, what else you like to do in your free time?
In my free time, I usually, for just removing my stress and all that, I love music.
Okay.
Yeah, either I am gonna order something and eat and music, or maybe
So you
as
are
an
an
individual.
instrument.
No, not an instrument. I would like to just get into that, but
But so
music
what kind
is
of
one
music
thing.
do you like? Is it very retro, new, old? What kind of music?
mix. Depends on the music and mood as well.
So you are one of those people who always have headphones.
Yeah,
Is that
I
right?
do have.
Okay, all right. And Omar, please tell us something. I mean, like I said earlier, you guys have
Shehzad, I think you should ask him why is he not in music, because he's into all this photography.
I am
yeah,
into
that's
music
what,
actually.
yeah. Are you into music?
I am very much into music.
What kind of music you
I
like?
listen to a lot of music. I'm more into, because I'm the 80s kid, so
Okay,
I'm
okay.
more into rock music. Bon Jovi being number one,
Okay.
Guns N' Roses, these kind of. But again, it depends on the mood. Whatever
Exactly.
what mood are you into? Otherwise, being into production, I've done three music videos as well.
Okay.
And
okay.
What kind of music?
it was the local bands, Islamabad-based bands. I
Okay.
made the videos for them.
Okay.
People always tell me I have the most, our generation always tells me that I have the most deplorable taste in music, because I have a very, very old taste in music. Very old, like 80s or 90s.
That's not old.
And well,
The one from the 60s, 50s, 60s.
it's not
Yeah,
now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not now
old,
in that
Mahrukh.
sense.
Yeah, it's
And-
not old at all.
And it's not now, and it's not, like you said, even Bon Jovi is really old in that sense.
Yeah.
But it's more classic. It's more,
Absolutely.
and I guess to each to his own. But now music has become more eclectic, no?
Absolutely. Like your generation, when I'm listening to music, especially when we're going out, I'm driving my car and
Yeah,
friends
yeah,
are there.
yeah.
My music is usually the 80s, and sometimes even the Bollywood music, 70s, 60s, even
So
that is
Bollywood music, 60s, 70s. Umair, your taste in music is also new or old?
No, it's new.
It's new.
I-
Okay.
I-
He
I
said
don't
no. It's
listen
new.
to-
Sorry.
It's new. I'm not into old songs.
And what do you
Not into-
consider old and new?
Old and new. I consider old something before which goes before 80s, I would say.
Okay,
Uh,
so we're on the same league then.
We're
okay.
almost on the same
We're
league, but
good.
I would still prefer listening to something new.
We can be friends, yeah.
So 60s, 70s, for example, old name a song which is really good. Can be Bollywood, can be any like can be Hollywood, can be art.
There's so many songs from the from 50s to 60s, Muhammad Rafi's songs,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kishore
indeed.
songs from 70s and 80s. I mean, my favorite, all-time favorite is Kishore Kumar.
So Kishore, Lata, Rafi, even
Asha
Hemant
Bhosle.
Kumar,
Hemant
all of
Kumar,
those
yeah,
are.
yeah.
So those, I meant those. So that's like 70s, I think.
Yeah.
So maybe I got the the
Yes.
T's wrong, but
But
overall.
70s was mostly Kishore and
Yeah.
Rafi, Lata,
Yeah.
Asha Bhosle. These four
I
were
don't think
the
now
icons.
songs can compare though. I have that kind of snob kind of
Yeah,
feel.
And these songs, especially melodious music from the 80s, whether it was American music, whether it was European music,
Yeah.
Pakistani music, Bollywood music, we cannot compare that from the music
Or
now.
even
what's
as old
happening.
as Frank Sinatra, for
Oh
example.
yes, absolutely.
It doesn't compare. Music now sort of is not timeless. I
Yeah.
think you like a song for a particular period of time and then it goes out. You know,
Absolutely.
it's not timeless. Even now, you won't find
Right.
6 months or maximum a year
Mhm.
kind of life.
Absolutely.
Even if you talk about the melody and the lyrics, I mean, yes, there are some things that are
They
pretty
don't
good
match.
right now. Yeah, okay, we
Mhm.
can hear them, but I don't think that I'm really fond of the music that we are hearing in these days. You
And
know?
maybe you won't want to hear it in any other year.
Yeah, exactly. And
Bollywood is-
Umair,
New
you-
song. A good new song. You said you're into new music.
He's probably into trance music.
No. There was a time. I think that was 5-6 years ago. I'm into Punjabi music. I like Punjabi music.
So Punjabi now, and so do you have music on when you bake? Because a lot of
There's always music on when I bake.
okay. So what kind of songs? But they can be
Pun-
Punjabi. They can be any
Punjabi,
song.
Bhangra, anything that gives us energy.
so you need motivation when you bake it.
Okay.
Yeah, that if you call that a motivation, yeah.
Let me ask you something, Umair, since you have to deal with a lot of public, because viewers, we were just out there in the backstage right now, and pretty much everyone here was asking for good deals from Umair. So Umair must have a lot of public dealing / customer service. Do you recall anything, or is there anything that you can't forget in terms of something that came up while you were communicating or talking or handling or dealing with a customer? Any particular scenario or incident?
Quite a few things, but the one thing that I would want to mention here was there was this wedding cake that we had to make, and it was a 25 pounds 48 cake. It had 4 steps.
Wow.
So we did our part, we made the cake. The customer, she wanted us to share the images before the order gets picked. So we shared her the images, we made quite a few videos of it for us to post later on our social media. So I shared the videos. She was all awe, and she was like, I'm coming myself to pick it up and everything. We got the cake packed. When she was here, I was in the kitchen, I was in my office. So I told her that it's a heavy cake, and I mean, I have staff, they're going to handle it, they'll pick it up, they'll put it in the car. However you want us to, do
Deliver.
it, we'll help you out. So this lady, she comes all dressed up, she's wearing heels, all the shadi attire, and she's like, no, I'm going to take the cake myself. And we had like around 5 steps to the
Right. To the premises.
to the premises, and I remember I was trying my best to convince her, okay,
Are you
Let's-
thinking the same thing that I'm
let's
thinking?
not
This
take
is
the
how
risk. Let's not take
something
the
is
risk.
about to
Yeah,
happen.
me too.
And she
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
so she lifted it up. She's like, "Oh, it's heavy." I was like, "Yeah, it's heavy." It's like, "It's okay, I'll take it." I'm like, "Okay, sure." So
4-tier cake. And she
4-tier
said
cake.
she
I
rolled
held the door,
The bad part is
and
coming.
the amount of times that I told her not to do such an experiment. So I held the door, and the moment she left, I was like, okay, done. Khalas, I'm done here. So then comes a loud screaming voice, oh my God. And then I saw outside the door, and she fell off the stairs. And I think she sprained her ankle pretty badly, and the cake was all into 4 different pieces, which was supposed to be a 4th year. And then she came in crying. She was like, can you fix it?
That's
like,
such a
I know you're
disaster.
gonna hate me, but like, I mean, you're the only person who could do that. I mean, I know that I'm the only person who could do that, but I don't know what came into your head for doing it. So yeah, and then
That
we had to fix the cake again,
And you could fix it.
we had to fix it. Obviously, we had
The
to
one
fix
that
it.
actually was
the
broken.
which collapsed. So we
Okay.
had to rearrange all the tiers, fix all the flowers, add more flowers.
What about herself? She must have gotten everything.
Women care
I
about
wasn't
themselves.
caring much about her
Thinking
because
about comic movies now.
No, I'm thinking about the kind of
I'm pretty
effort
sure
that
she went to
goes
the
into.
wedding though. I'm pretty sure she went to the wedding, and I'm pretty sure she held the cake there too.
So, Umair, there is a question that actually came up in my mind after you just shared this story with us. When you prepare a cake, right, and if it's like a 4-step or 4-tier cake, how do you prepare it? Because is there a strong foundation? Is it like, what's the
No,
architecture?
those are called cake stands. We get them prepared in bulk. So we have, like, I know the amount of orders I have. Like for wedding cakes, we take around 10 to 15 days of a prior notice because we need time to prepare all of that. So when we have time, we obviously order a proper foundation, a proper cake stand for it, and it has a steel base. It is covered with we cover it up with the fondant, which is called
Icing and cream
icing
or
and all.
whatever.
and it has a supporting pillar inside it, which is basically welded to the base.
Oh, so there is a strong structure.
There's a strong structure in between, and then we put the cakes in tiers on it, so it can practically not collapse.
It cannot collapse. However, it can obviously.
If you
fall,
toss it
yeah.
around, it can fall. If you toss it around, it can obviously cause damage to the cake. But that is the only reason when the customer tells that the cake was tilting or the cake collapsed, we know that it can't collapse until and unless you've manhandled it or you've been pretty harsh with the cake. So that happens too. A lot of customers they would call back and they're like, "But the cake is tilting. How did you? Oh, we kept it on the seat. Obviously, the seat is tilted. The cake will have the weight diverted to one side. It's going to tilt. So can we send our driver back if you could fix it up?" No, I'm sorry.
Is there any warranty?
No, there is no warranty.
I remember I ordered a cake for Lahore, and it was ordered in Lahore, and it was a 3-tier cake. It was a birthday cake, and we live in Defence, and it had to go to Raivan. I mean, so it's quite a distance from. And I remember it was a 3-tier cake, and we tried our best. Of course, on the other side of the story, the customers do try their best that they shouldn't mess up. And I remember we put it in the car, but somehow it got a little. I mean, by the time it got there, it got
started tilting.
Yeah. It started tilting, and then
No, that's an art. We always the boys who go to deliver the cake in the car towards the customers. I've given them clear instructions that do not hand it over to a woman who wants to hold it on her lap. Like, do not do that. Just keep on holding the cake. Just tell her that this is going to be your responsibility. We won't take any responsibility.
And then you
after.
also say sometimes, I know that bring a person with you if you're going in the car to hold the cake, because
either
you
hold
need
it
an
or
extra
otherwise the best
person.
part is for customized cakes, I would say the best part is to keep it on the floor mat.
Okay.
Keep the seat idle, put it on the floor mat. That's the best place a cake can be if there's a long commute.
I want to include Umar in this also. Umar, you're also doing a lot of, you probably do photography for events, right? And that must, when you're dealing with whether it's cakes or whether it's photography or whether it's, makeup or anything to do with an event like that, people put their whole effort into an event, and they also tend to get sometimes, they're harassed for time and they're not always on their best.
Yeah.
Is it difficult to deal with people of course, trying to get the right photographs, trying to make sure that there is that moment, those things also take effort, right, for a photographer?
Yeah, absolutely. I never had any issues with photography, but the main issue is when the client has to pay. That is
Okay.
the main problem,
Mm.
especially when at the weddings, clients always pay advance fully. They are paying everything for the dresses,
Yeah.
for the marquee, for the
Mm.
decor, catering and everything.
Mm.
The last person who they pay is the photographer. The
Photographer,
person who is giving you all the memories, who's saving you all the memories, they pay them in the last. I had a really bad experience with one client who actually he had the wedding, and then after the wedding, right after the wedding, he went for honeymoon, and he came back after 3 weeks, and they had a divorce, and he didn't pay me, and he was like, I'm going through divorce, so I cannot pay you. It's not my problem, man. And so we have all kind of
Even though, yeah, it's a bad situation.
That's a very
but,
sad-
but
sad
it's
thing,
it's
but
funny
it's-
at the same
Yeah.
time as well, you know.
So you have to pick the right ones who are going to find eternal happiness. That's your goal. Otherwise,
we usually what we do is we charge 75% advance,
Yeah.
but somehow sometimes a friend is requesting so we have to do sometimes go with the less advance. So that was one of the reasons, but he
it's
never
also probably very painful. I mean, of course, it's a professional courtesy, and of course, it has to be done. I mean, once
Absolutely,
you've
absolutely.
engaged somebody, then.
Yeah.
But of course, it's painful after something like that happens to go back, and
True, true that.
there is that also.
Right. Now, with this, folks, we're going to conclude today's wonderful Eid show. Thanks a lot for being with us, and I would like to draw the attention of our viewers. 401/UMAIR. He brought a wonderful cake for PTV World, which is right there in front of me, and we're going to enjoy this cake for sure. And now we just say goodbye to our viewers, and take care of yourselves, and make sure that we do not forget the downtrodden and the vulnerable segments of society. At this point, when we distribute the meat, there are people out there who are actually probably, unfortunately, who have not were not able to enjoy the meat for the whole year. So this is the time that when we make sure that we deliver it to the person who are well deserving. Thanks a lot, and Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak.